Hello everybody and welcome to a game called Sinking City. Robert Rambles here and thanks for joining me today. If you're not familiar with the Sinking City, it's an open world investigative mystery and survival horror game set in the Lovecraft universe, which if you're not familiar, is an entire mythos of evil elder gods and inhuman creatures of antediluvian origin. We're going to be unraveling a dark mystery and coming face to face with horrors and events that are going to test our sanity, trying to push us over the edge. And we'll also be putting to test our detective skills and probably our combat skills as well as we come face to face with these creatures of cosmic horror. I don't know anything about the actual story of Sinking City. I've avoided all spoilers. And so I think we're going to jump right in. Let's take a look at some settings. I'm going to actually set the investigation from newcomer, which says evidence in your casebook will have an icon to indicate you can use it to advance the case. Whereas on detective, evidence in your casebook will have no hint icons, leaving you to work out what actions to take next. I prefer this approach, I think. I believe this is going to be a game where we're going to do a lot of exploring, just organic looking around as we search for clues and just really comb the area and the world in depth and really get into it. So I think we're going to leave it on detective. The combat I'm going to leave on normal. And if it ends up being too easy, then we will ratchet it up. But we'll leave it on normal for now. There are some warnings that play in the beginning that I'm going to let go. If you're not familiar with Lovecraft's original fiction, it might be good to take a look at the warnings, and with some editing magic, I will loop those in, and then we'll jump right into the new game. Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you requested, I've researched the outburst of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmont, Massachusetts. It turns out that your assumptions were correct. Such cases are indeed more frequent here. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours, a city drowning, the presence of something great yet unknown. As luck has it, I believe we have stumbled upon the source of your ailment, and the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself, then come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you here to help you on your way. Cordially, Johannes Vanderberg. So we must be playing as Mr. Charles Reed. Well, that's not very typical. We'll assume we're actually awake this time, right? Sharon must be the name of the ship. Let's see what we have. We have a gun. We're definitely going to need this. Okay, that's A. That's not going to pick it up. Are we able to pick this up? Letter from J. Vanderberg. Well, this is the one we already read. For more information, check your casebook. The casebook contains your main case, which reflects your overall story progress. You can work on more than one side case at the same time. Cases contain information about investigations in the form of evidence. We have an exclamation bubble, a key, and a letter, so different kinds of evidence we can collect, talking to people, finding items, or having mail. Some pieces of evidence have icons that hint at what action to perform. Dialogue, use item, take a photo, search archives, search location. Okay, and this is our casebook. So right now we have just the letter, and we don't have any side cases or anything else going right now. That's pretty cool. So it's going to collect all the evidence, I'm assuming, for our main case right here. We don't have any lore yet. Okay. Hitting A has let me pick up every other item except for the gun, so I'm just kind of assuming that we can't pick up our gun yet. We did pick up a camera, but I'm sure it will tell us how to
Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Oakmont Monolith National Park is waiting for you. It does seem to be calling us, even. And so from what we saw in the opening cutscene, we were in the Navy, and I'm assuming that our shipmates that we saw there, their faces melting, means that they didn't survive something and maybe we did. Oh, you have to hold it? You have to hold it to keep the door open, otherwise it shuts. We have gunpowder and coil springs. I believe that this game is going to have crafting, so those are obviously crafting materials. I would really love to pick up this gun and do more than just look at it, but we're not going to be doing that right now. We can crouch. And I am playing on an Xbox controller, so I don't know if that's better than playing on the mouse and keyboard. Oh, hi.
Take your belongings off my ship first.
Yeah, I would, I'd love to do that. I just am not...
I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Okay, perfect. 638 rounds, so not a lot of ammo. Said evidence picked up, but I didn't see anything new pop in. And now he's gonna let us go. It's nice that they won't let us leave without our only weapon.
Now get out!
He's not very fond of us. Let's get a good look at us here. Got our trench coat with our fur lining. Doesn't really seem that would be helpful in the rain, but it is leather. Assuming everything's well waterproofed. And now can we not jump? Because I'm assuming that... Well, that's how we hack somebody. Climb.
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes Vanderberg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Okay, so what is going on with the city if it's not its finest hour? It looks like a fairly rainy and drab a place.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Alright, tell us more about the flood.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, I guess some people prefer cloudy, rainy weather. There's a lot of studies that say mental health is tied to the weather, but hey. Nice suit.
That's an eye-catching suit.
Rather yellow.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
Fair
I
enough.
take it you're a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal quirk.
About our little problem, and I think our problem must be that we are having these hallucinations. I mean, that is a problem.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
Okay, where could we find this guy? We could probably help him with his problem, and then he will help us.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Okay, and can you tell us any more about him? Anything we should know before engaging him in conversation so we don't make an ass of ourselves?
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature, scion of a robust bloodline, a philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Roger that. But after we do that, where are we going to stay?
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel.
Huh.
Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Yeah, I was
Don't
thinking
judge a
something
book
like
by
that.
its cover, Mr. Reed.
Charming. Alright, well, how do we get there?
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Well, that's convenient. What else is on the map?
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to the truth.
We are a
This
private eye,
city is
right?
insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
So basically, we're going to be on our own. I doubt we're going to have any kind of sidekick. And what do you do here, Colonel Mustard?
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
Sorry, Mr. Vanderberg.
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia.
Of course you do.
Gathering seeds of thought, like moths drawn to a flame.
Strange
Does
analogy.
Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Okay, let's go find Robert Thormorgorton.
That's it for now,
I believe
think.
I'm totally mispronouncing
Thanks
that.
for helping me get my bearings.
No, no. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
Okay. We can open the map. So street names and districts are shown on the map from the beginning. Most other landmarks and points of interest have to be discovered. Institutions with archives, landmarks, fast travel points, destinations are activated when you access phone booths around the city. Investigation scenes. Icon appears when location is discovered. Color of the icon changes according to investigation progress. Icon is removed if case is complete. Investigation scenes, key evidence collected. Investigation scenes, all evidence collected. So from gray, not started, to yellow, some evidence collected, green, completed. Press A to place marks in your map. Use this to plan your route or note places of interest. Evidence marks are shown for the current selected case only. Select another case in the casebook to see and place relevant evidence marks. Generic, red, marks are always shown regardless of the selected case. Alright, so that's a pretty awesome and detailed map. Rather large area, and we are down here in what I guess is just in the Grimhaven Bay district. We have the boat here that he talked about that could ferry us down. You can see some of these roads are actually not roads. They are covered with water. And that's all that's marked right now. Let's see what we have updated here. We have a hotel room key, a key to the room at the Devil's Reef Hotel. And Johannes Vanderberg said that I need to find a person in Oakmont Port by the name of Robert Throgmorton. Throgmorton. Supposedly he can help me. Okay, so we're just gonna have to look around.
Don't do that again.
Trying to see, oh geez, someone's been fishing for octopi, except they just kind of left it here, or maybe it washed up, probably just washed up in a swell. Well, we don't need to go back this way. Maybe we find a way off of the docks. Look at this guy over here is not having a good time.
The end is nigh. It will begin again. What is down comes up. The seed is sowed.
He's got some pretty cool ink on him.
The end is nigh. It will begin again. What is down comes up.
What is down
the
comes
seed
up.
is sowed.
Seed is sown. Okay, well he's bonkers. But we might be bonkers too, so. And if you take a look at us, like, we've been through some stuff. So we survived the Navy, but we did not come out unscathed mentally or physically. Okay. Well, he said we couldn't miss him.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested.
Okay.
Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well,
Alright.
perhaps we can help each other.
This is something I heard about, that I did read about the game. So there are other races of humans that are not obviously entirely human. More than just one subspecies or species. I don't really even know how to properly refer to them. But we're gonna see things like this. Now, our character doesn't seem very taken aback. So I'm just gonna assume that in this universe, that this kind of thing is typical in this area. Not necessarily typical, but known of, judging by our nonchalant reaction. So let's ask him some questions here. He wants our help first. We could ask him about his features, and we probably will. Because, okay, we do have that option. Let's find out what happened to his son. I doubt he's going to help us until we help him, like he just said.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, we want your
Well,
help.
like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
Sounds
You
bad.
don't believe him.
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words.
Okay, tell us about yourself and your lineage.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you.
Okay, so we're just really
That's
nonchalant.
because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
Very interesting. Who are these Innsmouthers that you're talking about? Is this just the other citizens?
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have
Oh,
overrun
okay.
this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells, they are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
Wow, it's pretty rough to lay all those problems on to like a immigrant group of people that came here because their home was burned by the police. We'll find out more and see what really is going on, I hope. And what about our vision, since we are here to get your help with these weird hallucinations?
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
Well, we could try to help you first.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera, you have a point, newcomer.
Vera.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
Okay.
I see. Thank you.
And what else could you tell us about the case?
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to their house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Okay, so we will investigate the fisherman's house, or go talk to the fisherman. Where is he at?
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing right in front of it.
Private eyes ask questions. And what about the lifeboat?
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
Maybe we'll go check out the lifeboat
I'm
first.
enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton. It's time for me to get started.
Yeah,
Find
we're
my
soaked to the bone.
son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
We'll try to find him. I don't know if you'll like what we find out necessarily. These guys are armed. Definitely armed. Alright, let's see. Robert Throgmorton wants to find his son Albert, who went missing in the port after returning from an expedition to the sea. He was found barely conscious by a fisherman on the shore who brought him into his house. The fisherman says that Albert was mentally afflicted and acted aggressively before disappearing. Robert arrived to investigate and is now standing in front of the house in question. Until he's found, Robert won't allow anyone to leave port, and he won't help me. Alright, so we're standing right in front of the house, he says. I'm assuming he means this house. But we also want to maybe find the lifeboat. Which said face the house and then head down to the left, so assuming he just means down west here. Let's just go look around and see what we can find, shall we? Police line, do not cross. We're gonna cross because this is the lifeboat. Titania. Okay, here's the Mine Palace. Throgmorton and Innsmouther feud. The Throgmortons and Innsmouthers are in an ongoing feud. Albert returned unstable. Albert Throgmorton behaved strangely after returning from the sea. He was mad, violent, and spoke gibberish. Supposedly.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania?
I don't get that reference. Someone should explain it to me. Albert Throgmorton's will. I hope someone finds this. My name is Albert Throgmorton. This is my will. I want to warn you. Don't go into the depths below Oakmont. There's something unreadable. We should have never done that. Everything should have remained in that cave. Professor, I fear what will become of me. It's singing in my brain, dancing on my eyelids every time I close my eyes. The cycle goes on and on and on and on and on and on. In the end it comes. I must warn everyone. I must tell my father. He's here. So that's a little ominous. What is on the front of this?
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
All evidence collected. So some of these things will go in our lore so that we could refer to them later if we get stuck.
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
No one likes the Innsmouthers.
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Oh, great. Now, did we know that before coming here? Some kind of possum, I guess.
I've said everything I know.
All right, let's check it out. Let's check out inside here. Turn our flashlight on. Somebody was preparing a meal. Using the bathtub to do that. That's fine. I don't know if I would let this stuff grow in my house, but maybe they don't have a choice. Because of the flooding. Seems like everything is kind of a wreck.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
There's blood on it.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Alright.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police?
Not exactly.
I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
Well, we want to ask you the same questions the police asked you. Firstly, who are we talking to?
Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
And what happened here exactly?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis, we were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. And so that guy started talking in his foreign weird language, mumbling and muttering, and they started to have these visions and this pain, and then when he woke up, they basically, blacked out from it? Okay. Where is everyone else?
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Alright, so who is this K?
Who is this K you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know.
And what happened to Paul?
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
K have mercy on his soul, so I guess that this guy's god is called K.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, Kay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Yeah, we could relate to that. So we have some new clues. We have his testimony.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella.
Yep, got his face
He was beaten to a pulp.
clobbered in. What the fuck? What is this? Do you guys saw? You guys are seeing that, right? I am not okay with that. And it also dropped our sanity bar there in the bottom left. The green bar, I'm assuming, is our sanity meter. Whatever these little hallucinations are,
5 cards short of a full house.
they will drop our our bar down.
I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye allows you to see the unseen. Use Mind's Eye whenever you see distortion in the corners of the screen and hear a ringing sound. It may reveal images of the past, illusions, omens, or tracks that are otherwise invisible. Images of the past have an activation zone. See above. Hold A to see the full picture. We have to... Oh, okay, there we go. And now...
Glenna, Nehri, Glenna, Gebheil,
Yeah, that's unsettling. He's... Oh, I'm assuming that's his Albert, floating there and talking in the language that Will mentioned.
Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
I'm assuming we're talking about the man there on the right. He does look a little off, a little fishy. So I'm assuming that there's some kind of fish people.
5 cards short of a full house. Choo choo.
I don't know if we picked up some crafting items there or what.
My head! I still hear those voices.
Trying to see if there's anything else for us to find with the mind's eye. Follow the omens. Retrocognition. Haven't had to do that yet. Did we not fully investigate this?
Glenna, Nehri, Glenna, Gebheil,
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
Whoa. So, it's prompting us for retrocognition, allows you to understand events that happened in the past, inspect enough evidence on the scene, and a vision will emerge. Step into it and find all the critical scenes. Press A to mark the scenes in chronological order to gain new evidence. Okay. Oh, I see. Let's let our sanity meter refill really fast, because I believe that while we're in Mind's Eye, the sanity meter ticks down. Oh, we don't have to have the Mind's Eye up to do this. Okay, so where does it start?
What's happening?
It's hard to see, like, who is who, so I'm assuming this is Albert floating in the bed talking gibberish. Here's the 3 fishermen. They start to kind of go crazy, according to Will.
Take this, ape face.
Is that Lewis, who shoots him as he comes out? This guy is like picking up a barrel to throw. This guy just pulls out a gun and shoots him. This must be Will here, just kind of cowering.
Yeah, run!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, run!
he throws this, flips this over and gets out through the wall after getting shot. And this guy is the guy with the gun. So I'm assuming this happened pretty chronologically. 1, 2.
What?
Take this, ape face.
3. What
Yeah,
I'm wondering
run!
is, if we stay
When
here...
Albert Throgmorton woke up, he
Okay.
was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
Whoa! Guys, what the hell was that? We were totally getting attacked by some kind of specter that came up after we completed all the evidence. And now it's gone. What in the hell? At least the gun's loaded now. So we know the fisherman brought him in unconscious. When he woke up, he caused an outburst of hysteria and attacked the rest of the fishermen. One of them shot him, and he fled through the hole in the wall. Will lives here with Barry, Paul, and an Innsmouther named Lewis Flynn. He woke up, started making horrible sounds. His hysteria seemed to spread. They started to see visions. And when Will recovered, he found Paul dead on the floor. No trace of Albert or Lewis. Okay. Let's go to the Mind Palace and see what we can do here now. The Mind Palace, we're supposed to combine pairs of evidence to get clues. Crucial information for the case is added to the casebook. Deductions explain the nuances of the case. Some deductions can be interpreted differently, which can lead to different conclusions. Okay. Let's see what we can do. So, connecting two things that are related. Lewis shot without warning. He did kind of shoot without warning. Albert attacked the fisherman. Let's see, he returned inside unstable, and he attacked the fisherman. He was dangerous, he posed a threat to Lewis, Flynn, and his fellow fishermen. Okay, how do we just go back without leaving the Mind's Eye, or the Mind Palace? Albert spread some sort of psychic influence which made everyone nearby suffer hysteria. Said B to hit back, but that just literally exits you all the way out. Let's see. Lewis shot without warning. I mean, he did just kind of go right to shooting. Maybe that's because of the feud? In Innsmouther, Lewis and his people suffered at the hands of the Throgmortons. That could be a reason to hate them. Definitely. If we hit Y to go back to clues, we don't exit out. And Albert fled when wounded, and one fisherman is missing. Can track down Albert. Albert and the fisherman named Lewis fled the scene after the fight in the house. I can track them using my supernatural sense, so the Mind's Eye. Very, very cool. So we're going to use our Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye can reveal omens that guide your way. Follow them to find new evidence. Sure, could do that. I'm assuming they left the building. And the longer we stay with the Mind's Eye up, the more insane we go. I just want to make sure that we've actually collected all the evidence here and all the items that we can before we leave. And I know this is...
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer episode. I'll try to keep them to 30 minutes from now on, but I feel like for the first episode...
Choo-choo.
Probably okay just to, like, just to get going and see whatever we're gonna see and get a feel for how the game plays. It makes sense to kind of do a longer one. I don't think we're gonna find anything else that we can grab. I feel like we've explored this pretty thoroughly. We can't tell Will that he probably didn't kill anybody. But it seems like he probably didn't kill anybody.
Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed.
Okay, so there was a dog. See, there are some extra crafting materials that we will have to be very thorough to discover.
The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
A book lover. Oh, that's all evidence collected, so apparently the book and the fact that they take care of their books may be an important clue. Or maybe the fact that they have a dog also. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. There are the omens we could follow. I wonder if we could tell Robert anything. We could tell him about the will that we found at the boat.
Mr. Throgmorton, I found this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's your son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
Bye.
Apparently we're not going to tell him about any of our deductions until we've actually figured out what happened, and that makes total sense to me. The next step is going to be to follow these omens to wherever they lead us. So I think this is going to be a good point to take a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we'll track these omens down and see if we can find Albert and Lewis, who at this point is obviously like our suspect. Well, I mean, they're both suspect. Things are going on here. Lewis shot Albert because he was going crazy. Everyone was kind of going crazy, so I don't really know who's to blame. We'll figure it out. Hope you guys are having fun with this one. This seems really interesting. I'm looking forward to getting really immersed in the world, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of exploring and digging around, finding out whatever we can about the lore and the characters and the places themselves. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you again real soon. I really appreciate the support, guys. Take care and wish me luck.